Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to In the Garden with Joyful Living. I am Kimberly Dixon. So while we wait for a few people to join us, I'm just going to take you on a little tour of the garden. But before I do that, let me... Okay, so that didn't go as I planned. We're just going to go take a look at the garden. So here is my yellow pear tomato that is doing quite lovely. And as you can see, I've got basil and marigolds, onions, and I transplanted some lettuce this week. It's alive, so we're going to watch it and see what it does. But you can see the plant is very healthy. It's bright and green and beautiful. Here's my B&H BHN 589 slicer. Good morning, Sabrina. We got to get together soon. So it's doing very well, and as you can see, it's got some flowers on it, so that's going to be the beginning of fruit. And as we go on around here, you can see my lovely peas that I just harvested yesterday. I've got several different locations of peas. But the thing that I like the most about this one is that when I'm standing at my kitchen sink, I can see the pea vines coming up in front of the window. So here's another very healthy tomato. It is an orange striped tomato. The yellow pear and the orange stripe are really good for people to have acid reflux. And red tomatoes, you just can't eat them. Yet again, another tomato with flowers on it. This is a Jasper cherry tomato. This is my black indigo tomato, which is the one I was most excited about. From one day to the next, though, I came out and it had these spots on the leaves. So I'm researching to see if there's anything that I can do about that. This was the one I was the most excited about. Here we have Boston pickling cucumbers with some lettuce and marigolds and onions. This is companion planting at its best because or with tomatoes to maximize, and it creates cover and protection for the lettuce once it gets hotter during the year. This is my sweet banana pepper with, again, some onions. These are potatoes. I hadn't planned on doing potatoes this year, but I went into my pantry one day and a bag to get some potatoes, and a bag had started to sprout. And this one, as you can tell, the leaves look just a little bit different from these. And that's because these are yellow potatoes. That's a red potato that started coming up in a bin that I had it in last year. So I just moved it, and we're going to see what happens. So, you know, a lot of what I do is just experimentation. I try different things. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't work, well, we'll try something different next year. But here's more sweet peas. And you see that little pea right there? Aren't they so cute? They're so delicious, but you can see this one is full of peas. I don't like peas at the store, but I love those. Here we have red bell pepper, mammoth jalapeno peppers, yellow bell pepper. We got turnip greens in that container. Ginger that hasn't started coming up yet. I'm hoping the back and forth cold weather didn't kill it. Ginger loves hot weather, loves heat. Here's my collard greens with onions and marigolds in the container. Here's some spinach that I just harvested this week. And as you can see, it's already coming back. It's about ready to go to seed or get flowers. And I'm just going to let it go ahead and do that instead of pulling it up, because the flowers will invite pollinators, which we need. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my asparagus. Earlier in the year, I had lots of asparagus coming up, but now I only have 3. So I'm thinking all the heavy rain that we had in the early spring just killed them. Here's more kale, thanks to Keisha Robinson. Came home and there was a thing of kale sitting in my front flower bed. Here is sweet mint, strawberry mint. Good morning, Troy. Lemon balm. All different varieties. And again, here's more sweet peas with little peas growing. Absolutely delicious. Just flowers. Bunch of cucumbers. Here's my planting table with some seeds. These are gonna. Here's my eggplant. I overwintered from last year. That thing is going to get down when I tell you. It's going to produce. It was a great producer last year, but anytime you can overwinter something, it's ready to produce fruit earlier. So like with peppers, instead of having to wait 120 days, you might have to wait 60 because the plant is already established and mature. Irises that a neighbor gave to me last year. Gardening is about community. We share with each other. We share plants. We share seeds. The begonias that are in the pot with the irises I got from a neighbor. Small farmer for $1. Those are sunflowers that I'm going to move because sunflowers require a lot of space and they are heavy feeders. So if I do it in a pot, it needs to be a much bigger pot. So we've got a couple of people watching and I'm going to go ahead and get started. But so what I wanted to talk to you just briefly today, I have a training to get to at 9 o'clock that I'm going to be a little bit late for, is to don't stop. And I was just reminded of that on yesterday because I became a certified life coach in 2014. And at that time in my life, I frequently attended events with established life coaches like Lisa Nichols and lots of other ones, the Jack Canfields, whether it was watching something online or watching something, going to something in person. I attended some events in person. But over the years, I've stopped doing that. So the one thing that I know for sure about life is we don't know half as much as we think we know. So even when it comes to gardening, I know a lot about gardening. I've learned things through reading, watching YouTube videos, asking other people. But what I know about gardening is a mere fraction of what there is to know about it. So today, I just want to briefly talk to you about don't stop. Whatever it is you're passionate about, whatever it is you're an expert in your profession, don't stop honing your craft. Life just took hold. There have been so many things that have happened that I got invited to attend a 3-day online virtual event a few weeks ago, and yesterday was the first day of it. And just being there in that atmosphere, I realized that I couldn't remember when the last time I attended an event. So I know with the advent of YouTube and the increased popularity, YouTube been around for a long, long time. It's just become really popular in the last few years. We rely on YouTube a lot for our information. But let me tell you, YouTube is a great tool, but it doesn't compare to being virtual. Because when you're virtual at an event, you have breakout sessions and things of that nature. And being virtual doesn't compare to being in the room. So I recommend that everybody, at least once or twice a year, get in the room on some type of an event. No matter what it is that you're passionate about. If it's motorcycles, go to something about motorcycles, no matter what it is, because being in the room, you get that energy that you'll never get from reading an article or watching a video. Now, I'm not knocking those things. You do learn a whole lot from it. I've learned a lot from it, but it does not compare. So I'm encouraging you today to don't stop honing your craft. Don't stop learning no matter what age you are, because again, the one thing that I am absolutely certain of is I don't know as much as I think I know, because you don't know what you don't know until you find out. Sounds kind of crazy, but it's absolutely true, because we'll walk around here thinking something is true and not really having any frame of reference, any evidence to back it up. But keep pursuing learning, keep stretching the space that you're in. And so I know some people, they are apprehensive, excuse me, about attending some things because of your own belief system. But this is what I learned a really long time ago. When you're going to an event, you're going to meet different people from different cultures, different races, different belief systems. You take what you need and you leave the rest on the table. You don't have to eat it. You don't have to absorb it. So if it's something that is against what you believe, fine. That's their belief system. But you're going to get so much more out of the event than what you will leave on the table. So I want to encourage you, go to something this year. Go to some kind of event about something that you love, something in your profession, something that is going to stretch you beyond where you are right now. Because we all benefit when we step outside of our comfort zone. Because that is exactly what I did. Over the last few years, I've gotten comfortable. I, learned some things about coaching. I learned some things about speaking. I've learned some things about gardening. But somewhere along the lines, I stopped attending events in person. Now, I still watch YouTube. I still read books. But it does not compare. So don't stop. No matter how old you are, don't stop stretching yourself. Don't stop expanding yourself and be open-minded to the possibilities. When we close our mind to possibilities, that's how hopelessness seeps in. It doesn't start out as 0 to 10,000 all at once, but when you close your mind to the possibility of healing from an illness or happiness again after a divorce. Good morning, Roz, my baby. How is Florida treating you? I miss you so much. But don't stop having hope. When we stop expanding ourselves, when we stop learning, when we stop looking for something better, then we become stagnant. When we become stagnant, then we allow those things that we don't want in our life to seep in. And before you know it, they become a part of your thought process, your belief system. So keep expanding yourself. Travel the world, but don't just travel the world and go to another city to shop. Go experience the city. Go experience the locals. When I go somewhere, I don't want to go to tourist attractions. I want to see how the people live. I absolutely will do that. I have training this morning, so as soon as I get off of the training, I'll give you a call. So the other thing I want to tell you is that when we're doing the In the Garden with Joyful Living, this is a space for us all to learn. So if you have questions about your plants, because a friend of mine posted a long post yesterday about questions she had about her container garden. But if you're on the live and you have questions, ask your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you and I'll get you one. Because again, as I said earlier, I know a little bit about gardening, but I don't know a fraction of what there is to know. So always be willing to learn. Always be willing to expand, to push the boundaries. But guys, I appreciate you getting on this morning to learn or to listen just about don't stop. Don't stop taking chances. Don't stop pursuing your dreams. Don't stop changing your professions. Change your professions. I don't care how old you are or how long you've been at the job that you're on, 20 and 30 years. When you've had enough, change your career. It's possible. You can do it. But don't stop. Don't stay in a place of stagnation just because that's where you're comfortable, just because that's what you're used to. And I want to shout out my friend Roz, because she made a big leap last year that is impressive. It was scary. It was something unknown, but she did it, and she's thriving. So don't be afraid. Be encouraged. Keep taking those chances. And the Father in heaven is going to guide your footsteps. But guys, thank you for watching In the Garden with Joyful Living on Don't Stop this morning. Keep going. Don't stop. I love you. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.